So, should these cops be commended or condemned? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense Logical Reason. As always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So I'm pretty sure by now most people has heard of the incident that happened with Army Lieutenant Caron Nazario. And this was the black, or let's say black Latino or black Hispanic man that was pepper sprayed by police officers in Virginia. So what happened? Well, the police officers, were driving at night, didn't see his license plate, any visible license plate, so they pulled him over. They put the siren on. He drove for a mile and a half to a gas station in which the police got out, and they basically had their guns drawn and told him to comply. He wasn't complying. Inevitably led to him being pepper sprayed. Now, of course, the leftists are condemning the cops for pepper spraying him, saying that this is another act of police brutality against a black man. And of course, what the media shows, I can understand why people will believe that. The media, true to form, the leftist media, they didn't tell you the truth. They gave you the part of the story that supports the argument. They show you the part of the police. Of the police of pepper spraying Mr. Nazario, but they didn't show everything. So the question is, though, should these cops be commended or should they be condemned? I say they should be commended for what they did. Now, first of all, he drove for a mile and a half after the sirens went on. Now, he said he was driving to a well-lit area, a better lit area. Okay, I can agree with that. However, understanding if you do that, that's typical with criminal behavior. Criminals do that. A criminal, when pulled over by police officers, especially if they're caught, if they're in the middle of a criminal act, they'll keep driving, and in efforts to try to hide the evidence, get rid of the evidence, and so on and so forth. Well, this is what criminals do. Or if not, take cops on a high-speed chase. So if you are a cop and you see somebody doing this, automatically you in your mind are thinking, okay, we have a situation here. Because law-abiding people, when pulled over by cops, or whenever they hear the sirens, they immediately pull over unless instructed otherwise. Or they'll pull off somewhere right then and there. They won't drive a mile and a half. Again, if you think that a mile and a half is a short distance, then get in your car and go drive a mile and a half just to see how far that is to be driving away when a siren is on. Anyway, police officers not knowing anything, again, they're putting their lives on the line every day, so they get out of the car and they have to take precautions. So they got out of the car with their guns drawn, telling Nazario, giving instructions to him that he wasn't following. They told him immediately, put your hands out of the window. And what it is this fool does, he pull out his phone, start recording, and turn into a social justice warrior, right? They're giving him instructions, put your hand out of your window. This idiot is saying, what is going on? I don't know what is going on. You're being pulled over by police officers, fool. Comply. Again, this is an Army lieutenant. If anybody should know about following orders, it should be him. Anyway, he has his elbow out of the window, not listen to the cops, not listen to any directions, and they basically, altercation took about, maybe, if I watched the video, maybe about a total of 5 minutes. So he was being an a-hole the whole time, not listening to cops. They told him to put his hands out the window. He didn't listen. At one point in time, they told him to step out of the vehicle. He wasn't listening. And as a police officer, like I said, you have to be on guard on all times, right? Just ask that Black Lives Matter member who took the police response course and failed. Anything can happen. So they have to be on heightened sense of alert and of awareness. And him not complying just made the police escalate. If he would have complied, this situation could have been de-escalated. All right. So inevitably, they had to pepper spray him, and later They basically had a calm talk after everything has been de-escalated and calm, which he could have averted had he listened and complied with the police officer. The police is just out there doing their job. Now, the police officer who pepper sprayed has later since been fired. I think that's to me, honestly, I think that's sad on a part of these cops out here doing their jobs every day. I see that police officers, being a police officer is just a very thankless job. You get very little credit when you do something good, but you do something the wrong thing, and your livelihood and your very freedom could be in jeopardy. And I hear that Nazario has sued the police officers, which he shouldn't get a dime, but of course they're going to pay him out. For some reason, the police departments have this thing of paying people who shouldn't be paid. But he's definitely going to probably be paid out for this because of political correctness. But like I said, man, these cops should be commended for the job they did. Because you know what? He ain't dead. You say what you want to say. He is alive. If he would have listened to the police officers, none of this would have happened. This could have been easily de-escalated by him putting his hands out the window when he asked, getting out of the car when he asked, so that the police can assess the situation. They don't know who's in the car because of dark tinted windows. The back window, again, in the SUV, typically it's the case with SUVs, the back window will be darkened. They don't know who's in there. They don't know what's going on. They have to assess the information. And just because he's an armored lieutenant doesn't mean a damn thing. Okay? People in the military can act in criminal behavior. So, like I said, these police officers should be commended. And I think it's the real injustice is the fact that the police officer was fired. That's a damn shame. And like I said, we've seen efforts of people that have stood up to help police officers. Thanks to the efforts of people like Brandon Tatum, ex-cop Brandon Tatum. There was another police officer that was fired and he was rehired because of the efforts of people. But man, this is a shame. And I mean, at the rate we're going, who wants to be a police officer? I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, nowadays with the woke crowd. But anyway, these cops should be commended, and people need to get the whole story. I put a link in the description of Brandon Tatum's breakdown of what happened. Plus, I also put a link in the description with the mainstream media led with, and why people can believe that the police were being brutal to this man. But anyway, y'all, go check it out. And as always, until next time.